Yeah, there go my Hi.
October 25th, 2023. Dallas, Texas. A woman picks her husband up from prison. She decorates a hotel room. She throws him a surprise party. Days later, they get married. Less than 3 months after his release, her body is found on the side of the road, shot in the chest, abandoned like trash. The suspect? The same husband she welcomed home with open arms. The man she stood by during his incarceration. The man she showered with love, money, and loyalty. This is the story of Dishier Stevenson, a 38-year-old businesswoman who had it all. Multiple businesses, financial independence, a daughter she adored, and a mother she cared for. But her loyalty to a jealous, insecure man would cost her everything. Disclaimer. Before we continue, this case involves graphic descriptions of gun violence, domestic violence, and murder. See, viewer discretion is strongly advised. At around 7:20 a.m. on that October morning, Dallas police received an urgent 911 call. A woman's body had been found on the roadside at the 1600 block of Murdoch Road. When officers arrived, they found Dishier Stevenson lifeless, shot in the chest, left to die alone, and the man responsible, her husband, Michael Smith, a man who had just been released from prison, a man who couldn't handle the fact that his wife was more successful than he was. If you're here for true crime that exposes toxic relationships and the dangers of unchecked jealousy, hit that subscribe button. We bring you new cases every single day, real stories, real victims, real warnings we all need to hear. Let's talk about who Dishier Stevenson was before she became another statistic. Dishier Stevenson was born on November 16, 1988. By the time she was 38 years old, she had built a life most people only dream of. She was a successful businesswoman, a dedicated mother, a loving daughter, and a woman who believed in building her own independence. Dishier ran a business called Shea Money Purses and More LLC. She sold fashion items, clothing, purses, hats, beauty products, and she wasn't shy about promoting her work on social media. Her Instagram handle? Shea Money. Her nickname? Money-Making Dishier. She was proud of what she'd built, and she had every right to be. In May 2022, Dishier secured a new space for her boutique, hoping it would become a long-term shop. She managed multiple businesses while also assisting clients with filing tax refunds, a lucrative side hustle that brought in serious income. But Dishier's success wasn't just about the money. It was about independence, about showing the world and herself that she could achieve anything she set her mind to. She was also a proud mother to her 17-year-old daughter, Maya, and she loved that girl fiercely. For Maya's 17th birthday, Dishier surprised her with a car, a symbol of the life she had worked so hard to build. Family was everything to Dishier. She often shared pictures of her nieces, nephews, and goddaughter on social media, celebrating birthdays and showing how much she cared. And on top of all that, Dishier was the primary caregiver for her mother, who had suffered a stroke and was left partially paralyzed. Balancing entrepreneurial ventures with the responsibility of caring for her mother was no easy feat. But Dishier managed it all with remarkable grace. She faced every day with a smile, never letting the weight of her responsibilities show. But behind that smile was a relationship that was slowly becoming toxic, and it would eventually cost her everything. 39-year-old Michael Smith had been a significant part of Dishier's life for many years. On the outside, he seemed quiet and easygoing, a perfect match for Dishier's energetic personality. But Michael's past was far more complicated. The couple had endured a long-distance relationship while Michael was incarcerated. Dishier visited him regularly, sent letters, maintained a deep emotional connection. She never let the challenges of his imprisonment weaken their bond, or her commitment to him was evident in everything she did. She was his rock during a time when he needed it most. In May 2021, Michael was released from prison, and Dishier was there to welcome him back with open arms.
Yeah, there go my Hi. no crime. Baby, you got my ID. That's...
Hey. Me too.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, I'm finna fly back home.
Not right here.
Cause my finna eat steaks and shit. You gonna have to pull up today. It's a whole bunch of drunk shit going on at the house. I'm finna take them to see his mama first stop when I get to that.
She wanted to make the occasion as special as possible. She understood that Michael had missed out on so much during his time away, so she organized an extravagant surprise. Yeah, they got my boy. Oh my God, my hair fell off. This is what I've been waiting on. Ain't nobody crying? This is my man. No crying. Dishier picked Michael up from prison with her makeup done, her hair styled, ready to celebrate. She had booked a hotel room, organized a surprise party, made sure he knew just how much he meant to her. Only days later, they tied the knot in a small but meaningful wedding. The ceremony was intimate, but the love they shared seemed undeniable. It symbolized a new chapter in their journey together. Dishier was fiercely loyal. She cherished her marriage. She wasn't one to entertain distractions or temptations. Anyone who knew her would tell you just how devoted she was to her husband. When she committed to someone, she committed wholeheartedly. But Michael's release was just the beginning of a series of problems. While Dishier was thriving in her business and gaining recognition for her hard work, Michael found himself struggling to adapt to life outside prison. He lacked the financial independence that Dishier had worked hard to build, and he began to feel overshadowed by her success. When it came to finances, Dishier was the sole provider in the household. Despite the potential awkwardness of the situation, she didn't seem to mind at all. In fact, she openly shared her feelings on social media, making it clear that she was happy to support her husband. But Michael? He felt like he was no longer the man in control. This sense of inadequacy began to brew resentment. Dishier continued to shower Michael with love and support. She funded extravagant vacations, threw lavish birthday parties, even gifted him a $10,000 cash surprise for his birthday. She loved him deeply, and she was determined to make their relationship work. But Michael's insecurities and his growing jealousy began to show in an unhealthy way. As time passed, Michael's jealousy grew stronger. His drug addiction resurfaced, and his controlling behavior became more apparent. It's not uncommon for some men to feel jealousy or insecurity about their partner's career success. This can stem from a dip in self-esteem, perceived threats to their masculinity, or fears about shifting relationship dynamics. Traditional gender roles and societal expectations often intensify these feelings, making men feel as though their worth is tied to being the primary provider or the dominant figure in the relationship. Dishier, who had always been the life of the party, now found herself in a toxic relationship where she was constantly belittled and controlled. The woman who had once been full of life and generosity now found herself trapped in a relationship that was slowly suffocating her. Despite her best efforts to keep the peace, the tension between them continued to escalate. They fought more often, and Dishier became increasingly unhappy. Her friends and family began to notice the changes in her behavior.
It's a big one.
On the 21st, it was my birthday, and she called me, she wished me happy birthday. He was like, you know, normal, whatever. We was laughing, joking. And then she just said, like, sister, I feel like I'm finna die. So we had talked Sunday, and she was telling me how he was tripping at the fur, and he was trying to leave her in my knees. He was saying, like, she was trying to set him up, you know, flipping out, saying that she was trying to set him up. It was Facebook people out there. It was just some weird stuff, you know. So I called in FaceTime her Monday. She never reached back out to me. You know, she got a busy life, so I was just like, maybe she'll call me back or something. And then I went to sleep just thinking it was normal. It wasn't nothing. Monday night, my niece called me around 12 something, and I was asleep. I was hearing my phone, I was hearing Facebook Messenger, and it was like it was just in my dream, but as I kept hearing it, I eventually woke up. And it was my brother girlfriend saying that My niece haven't heard from her since fall. She was stranded in my auntie's house. And I'm like, what, you know, I don't know. I just was like, that's not her. You know what I'm saying? Like, she never leave my niece, no matter what. She never leave my mama, no matter what. So my brother and his girlfriend came, you know, and we just started searching from 12 all the way up until, you know, we had found her that morning.
But they didn't fully grasp the severity of the situation. Dishier's love for Michael blinded her to the red flags that had been present all along. She thought that her love and support would be enough to keep the relationship stable. But little did she know, Michael's toxic behavior was becoming more dangerous by the day. In a chilling moment just a few days before her tragic death, Dishier told her sister Jasmine that she felt like she was going to die. Jasmine brushed it off at first, but something about the way Dishier said it seemed to suggest that she had a premonition of the horrors to come. "Sister, I feel like I'm going to die." Those words would haunt Jasmine forever. October 24th, 2023, just a month before Dishier's birthday. Her daughter Maya tried reaching out to her but received no response. This was completely out of character. Dishier was always in constant touch with her daughter. Concerned, Maya contacted other family members. And soon, the search began. When Dishier's family contacted Michael, he revealed something unsettling. He claimed not to know where she was, said he hadn't seen her. The family decided to trace Dishier's car. They found it at the Pleasant Village Apartments, where Michael's father lived. The car was parked in an unusual spot, which only fueled their worry. Within an hour, they came across something horrifying. A post on a community blog about a woman being shot just 3 minutes from Michael's father's home. When they arrived at the crime scene, the reality hit them hard. Officers confirmed their worst fears. Dishier had been murdered. The first thing I saw was a big handprint on the driver's window. I started trying to use different context clues. We looked in the creek. I started getting chills all over my body. 2 minutes later, Smash the Topic posted that it was a lady found, which was like 3 minutes from where we were at. When we got there, we had to describe and give them some details to identify her. And when they came back, they didn't even want to say it was her. It was just a nod of the head. And everybody just broke down. When detectives searched Michael's car, they discovered traces of blood, a spent bullet casing, and a single sandal matching the one Dishier had been wearing the last time she was seen. Surveillance footage painted a grim picture. See, it showed Dishier and Michael arriving separately at the Pleasant Village Apartments. At some point, Dishier had entered Michael's vehicle, and it was there, in that car, that the confrontation took place. What followed inside that vehicle remains unclear. But detectives believe that an argument or violent dispute occurred, one that ultimately escalated beyond control. By the time police received the call about a female body found on Melinda Lane and Murdoch Road, it was already too late. Dishier had been shot in the chest. Her body was abandoned, left to be discovered by an unsuspecting passerby. The scene was brutal. Her family, already in distress after trying to contact her all morning, arrived at the scene praying for any sign of life. But instead, they were met with the unthinkable. The body of the woman they loved are discarded like trash. What followed was a frantic search for Michael. Michael, who had been uncooperative when questioned, had denied knowing Dishier's whereabouts. But that had been a lie. The investigation quickly turned into a manhunt. For several days, Michael moved from one location to another, evading capture. He sought refuge in various places, including a local barbershop where police eventually tracked him down. Michael, seemingly unaware of the net closing in around him, tried to flee. But he was apprehended without incident. When Michael was arrested, he shared something bizarre. He claimed to have been under the influence of PCP during the shooting. PCP, also known as angel dust, is a dangerous street drug that causes hallucinations and severe mood swings. While Michael's claim that the drug influenced his actions might offer an explanation for his erratic behavior, it did not absolve him of responsibility for his actions. PCP is known to alter a person's perception of reality, but it is highly unlikely that it alone would have led someone to commit such a heinous act. The truth is more complicated. Michael's violence was the result of jealousy, insecurity, and an inability to cope with his wife's success. He couldn't handle the fact that Dishier was thriving while he struggled, that she was the breadwinner, that she had built an empire while he had nothing. And when he couldn't control her, he killed her. Michael Smith remains in custody on a $1 million bond in Dallas County Jail. Dishier Stevenson was 38 years old, a successful businesswoman, a devoted mother, a loving daughter who cared for her paralyzed mother. She had everything going for her: multiple businesses, financial independence, a daughter she adored. But she made one fatal mistake. She loved a man who couldn't handle her success. Her teenage daughter, Maya, now faces a world without the woman who raised her with such love and devotion. Dishier's sister Jasmine and the rest of the family are left to pick up the pieces of their shattered world. And the man responsible? The man she stood by during his time in prison. The man she welcomed home with a surprise party and a wedding. The man she showered with love and money. He's sitting in jail, claiming drugs made him do it. But the truth is clear. Michael Smith killed Dishier because he couldn't stand that she was more successful than he was. This case is a tragic reminder of the danger of unchecked jealousy and possessiveness in relationships. It highlights the importance of recognizing the signs of emotional abuse and taking action before things escalate to violence. Relationships should be built on mutual respect, trust, and support, not control, manipulation, and resentment. Unfortunately, not all relationships are healthy, and many individuals are left to navigate toxic dynamics that ultimately lead to tragic consequences. Dishier's death serves as a warning. Success should never make you a target. Independence should never be a threat. And love should never come with the price of your life. Our deepest condolences go out to Maya, Jasmine, and everyone who loved Dishier. May her memory be a blessing. And may her story push us to recognize toxic relationships before it's too late. And may Michael Smith face the full consequences of his actions. Rest in peace, Dishier Stevenson. You deserved so much better. Thanks for watching. If this story moved you, share it. Let people know that Dishier's life mattered. Hit that subscribe button for daily true crime content that refuses to let victims be forgotten. What do you think about this case? Let us know in the comments below. Stay safe out there. See you in the next one.